Hey coach, have you wondered what the future of personal training and really the future of your career and your business looks like? I brought in my friend and mentor, Chris Dufay, to talk about this because I think this is really huge. After talking with over 1,000 coaches worldwide just this year alone, I keep hearing the same things. And we have to just for a second here acknowledge that personal training, coaching as a whole, and jobs and careers and the traditional path that we were all told is the way, school, job, retire, die, that's not how it's gonna be in the future. And we just have to talk about this for a second because I need coaches to just embrace what's actually going on so they can actually put together a battle plan moving forward. Are you hearing the same things I'm hearing with, hey, coaching is weird, gyms shutting down, governments are doing whatever the heck they want? I'm not the only one hearing this, right?
I can't stop thinking, if you haven't seen Mo Amer's Netflix special talking about everything, it's so funny. He's like, that's a feeling. Have you had this feeling for like the last, 18 months, 2 years? It's like, what's happening with the fitness industry? What's happening with my career? And it's so true. Like, seriously, okay, lockdowns is been going all around. Like, how many different times? How many different strains do we have to talk about? What about getting jabs? What about things just aren't even open? What about what's going to actually happen? Clients dropping off. Even the decision of what is it that you really want to do? So many people have been leading this path, and Josh just said it before, the Great Resignation. I got there before you. The Great Resignation is something, and I think this is brilliant. This is an amazing time, and I'm dead serious right now. Mm-hmm. This is an amazing time for you to take a breath, step back, and be like, what is it that I want to do? Mm-hmm. What do you want to do with your life? And we wanted to share this episode with you so that we can actually be real with each other, because this is a lot that we've been going on personally as well. We're like, hey, how does my business really want to feel? What is it that I want to do with my life? Where do I want to live? What's the work that I want to do? How much money do I want to earn? Who do I want to spend my time with? So let's be straight up with each other. Yeah. Are you doing the work that you really want to? Maybe you're a face-to-face personal trainer. Maybe you're already an online personal trainer. Maybe you're doing both. Maybe you're thinking about, you know what? I love fitness. I'm a fitness bunny. I'm a fitness junkie. And I think this would be great for me to be able to get into because I can do what I really love. Amazing with all of that right now. Mm-hmm. I think that's absolutely incredible. So if you are then able to have the cojones for just a second and say, you know what? I want to make some changes right now. And what is the future of personal training from here moving forward? And I got to be perfectly honest. I was actually on Sam Harris's podcast, and I actually put this in a previous episode, and they were talking about, do you know what I mean, Rona and everything that's been going on isn't really going to finish. We're going to be seeing a lot of this going on until 2024, 25. Do you want to be in this state until 2024, 25 when we're shooting this now? Probably not. Do you mean that's how you get a hernia? That's not fun. So let's break this on down from here. Josh, you've talked with literally thousands of coaches so far this year. What's been the fear factor that you've been hearing?
This is going to come out of left field. You wouldn't think this. I think people fear, and this is what I've been told, people fear transitions. People fear letting go of something that is known, familiar, and comfortable to latch on to something that is new, unfamiliar, uncertain, and potentially couldn't work. I think that's particularly with the face-to-face coaches that have been in the industry and have done the early mornings, knowing to train in the middle of the day, come back, train people at night, and they get in that routine. I think people are uncomfortable with change, which I want to come back to you on this one because we've talked about this before in private, and I want to be vulnerable here. You've made several transitions in your career, and you've let go of countries that you've lived in. You've let go of gyms and businesses that you've run and moved on to other things. How do we help people be okay with transitioning and understanding what they're letting go and that there's something way better on the other side? And I actually mean that.
Yeah, so it's a great question. Thanks for posing it. I was a personal trainer back in 2008, when the GFC and everything like that went down. And in Australia, it didn't have a great effect back then. There was a little bit, but definitely not what I saw that was actually happening in the US and elsewhere. And so I could still see that effect as a trainer in the gym back then. And it was okay. The next big transition was when I moved from Sydney to Dubai, which literally meant I had to give up all my clients. I sold my house, I sold my car. I knew one person on another side into a country that I'd never been to before. My wife was 6 months pregnant. I had 3 months to get the business up and running to make this happen. pretty silly stuff, if you could be perfectly honest. So for me, the transitions of going to Sydney to Dubai, then when I burnt out as a personal trainer and I really wanted to start an online fitness business and make that my thing to be able to really, to be honest, to provide for my family and for us to live the life that we want, we moved from Dubai to Bali. And that was amazing. But then there was another transition where I fell in love with the business side of things and I stopped being a personal trainer, which I held onto that label for way too long. I stopped being a personal trainer and then I became someone that helped people with their businesses because I just fell in love with the business side. Each one of those times, especially moving from Sydney to Dubai, then going from Dubai to Bali, I burnt my ships. Do I recommend everyone does that? No, that's definitely not the case whatsoever. But you've got to understand, you've got to let go of one thing to move on to another thing. And yes, you can do things like we have a lot of clients that are still holding on to one thing, getting their online clients up, do you know what I mean, to 10, 20, 30 clients, having, do you know what I mean, $6, $8, $10, $12,000 a month of income, and then being like, cool, I'm going to turn this thing off. So we call that a scale method, right? You're just scaling it across. You're going, right, I'm going to get this thing working at this capacity so that I can stop doing, let's say, face-to-face training, or you can quit your job and you've already got this income, you've already got this work rocking and rolling. So I think that's one of the key things is what is that point that you let go? What's that point? If you can figure that out, I think it's really easy for us to put together the game plan to be like, great, you need this many leads, this many clients with this sort of coaching program set up and you're ready to rock and roll with it.
Well, let's help them with that. Actually, let's go into it. Like, what does it look like for you to potentially leave? What does it look like for you to potentially make that leap and jump? Can I make a super spicy recommendation when it comes to personal finance?
Yeah.
Stop spending all your damn money on stupid stuff.
That's caliente.
One of the biggest things that have given me a lot of reduction of anxiety around business and sales and money and this uncertain path of coaching and business is the fact that I live on a couple grand a month and I'm not buying the watches and I'm not buying crazy expensive shoes and I'm not always...
I don't wear shoes.
Yeah, this dude is so in tune with his finances, he's not willing to wear shoes so that he can invest into his future.
I think it's really important. I think when especially this is just my kind of philosophy with money at the moment. I think Ramit Sethi's idea, especially about having money dials and where are your money dials at. So for me, my money dials, my number one money dial is convenience. I spend a lot of money to have convenience in my life. And I love it. Do you know what I mean? Because for me, I want things to be made really easy. I want to be very effective and only doing the things that I want to do, which really involves with spending time with loved ones, my family, taking care of my health, business and creative projects. Honestly, that's the 4 things that I like spend my time and my money in. So if you look at my calendar, that's where it's going to. If you look at my bank statement, that's where it's going to as well. So it's just figuring out, do you know what I mean? What is a rich life to you and only having the expenditure in that, not trying to do everything.
Yeah, this is really good. I'm glad we're talking about this because I don't hear people talk about this, man. Like, this is the real stuff. And these are the real transitions we've been through as well. I want to go into this though. Sometimes people are so scared about taking the leap and they think about what they're giving up and what the cost will be of them doing what they want to do next. Can you try to show people a little behind the curtain of like what it would be like if you were still a face-to-face personal trainer? Because I remember us talking about how burned out you were. You got to sometimes get a little bit disgusted with where you're at in order to actually pull the trigger and make a change.
Yeah.
How do we help people understand what's going to happen if they don't pull the trigger?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing to realize is you do have to be in a certain amount of pain to be able to make a change, and that's perfectly fine. It's the pain teacher. But I think you've got to realize, what are you missing out from not taking this action? And I don't think most people think about it in a long enough time horizon. For example, let's say, for example, you are earning $100,000 a year doing a job that you don't love, right? And you could be earning $150,000, let's say, in an online training business, but you get to work from home, you get to do what you love, and you get to save hours and hours and hours of in your week, like every week compounding on top of each other. Now, the thing is, after 1 year, okay, you've maybe earned $50,000 more and you've had a little bit more time off. But dude, what's the difference after 3, 5, 10 years down the track with those things compounding and being able to get better as you go? And this is where I don't think people like actually think about, okay, in the first year, can we get your business to 150 grand? Amazing. Yeah. Can we get it to 250 year 2? Can we get it to 500 year 3? And that's the thing, like we've done a model before where it's like really like the performance, we call it the performance curve, it goes upwards. Do you mean it scales up? Because you get better and better and better. And the problem is, especially at the starting, if you look at the performance curve, that part in that very beginning, that first quarter, you're not getting a lot of traction and it's hard and you're grinding and that sucks. So I'm going to use a word that I think is really important here. And it's a word that I've interviewed people, successful people all around the world. And I kept coming up with this: faith. I don't mean that in a religious context. I mean faith within yourself that you will be able to get where it is that you need to be able to go. Can I or Josh guarantee that you're going to have it? Nope. No one's going to. And you should not expect someone to guarantee you to be able to do it. You should be able to back yourself.
Yeah, and I think this is a good coaching empowerment moment for everyone, because I just want to tell you right now, if you've been struggling, if you've been thinking about taking the leap, if you're struggling financially right now, if you're not happy with your job, if you're just not where you want to be, you have everything inside of you that you need in order to make this happen. You don't have the strategies. You don't have the skills. You don't have the systems. We do. I've coached 15,000 people online. This dude has run several successful businesses and has built successful teams to run those businesses for him. You've got everything inside of you. Stop looking for an excuse. Stop looking for some external thing. When the government opens up, don't rely on anything other than yourself, because I think we're going through a time in the next 5 to 10 years particularly, but really this is how it always is. The people that are independent thinkers and the people that can hunt and fend for themselves, they're the ones that are going to win. And allow yourself to embrace that and acknowledge that, because if you don't, there's a lot of pain on the other side of this.
Yeah, but I also want to say, like, dude, this is the gold rush right now. Like, so many people are going online, getting on their phones, being in different situations, and the online health and fitness space is only growing at an extremely rapid rate. And if you have a passion for helping people with this, dude, do you mean get amongst it? Like, this is your time to shine right now. This is when you can be able to do it. And especially when it comes to like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Oh, there's so many things. What softwares? Oh, there's 101 different questions. Oh, tranquilo. First, chill out. It's okay. But remember, like, how do we do anything? Yeah. We model success at the end of the day, right? And this is a really simple part. This is what I've done from like day dot. It's just been like, you look at someone and what are they doing? Okay, this is what they're doing. This is how they're doing it. How can I do that? For me, it's very much been, when I wanted to be a great physique coach, I literally traveled the world doing courses, doing private internships, doing one-on-one mentorships, having like consultations all around. It cost me a lot of money, but it shortcutted at time. It collapses time for you to be able to do things so much quicker, so much more effective. And I do believe you save yourself so much money in the long run because you're able to do that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. 100%, you do not need to be able to do that. You just need a simple set of steps to be able to do what it is that you need to be able to do. And that's what we're saying. Like, hey, we could maybe show you, and that's what we do with all of these videos, with this right now, on our strategy sessions for you. We can show you about, hey, where are you? Where is it that you want to go? What's the straightest line for you to be able to get there? Great, follow that plan. Now it's up to you to be able to follow that plan day in, day out. And if you're committed, then I think you can really do it.
Yeah, and we always say on those strategy sessions, whether it's myself or a team member doing that strategy session, at the least you walk away with some awesome strategies and some clarity on how to grow your business. We also promise you're going to laugh at least twice on those calls, because we also think success is cool, but we also think success should be fun as well. And at the very most, maybe you and I lock arms together with us and we help you grow your business, because we've got every solution to every problem you could ever be experiencing. And if you're not ready for the strategy session because you don't want to talk with people on the internet, I get that. Go over to the tale of 2 personal trainers. That's a YouTube video that I personally did. It's one of my favorite that I've ever done. It's totally free and it'll give you great insight as to what happens if you don't build the personal training business that you've always wanted, and what's on the other side if you do. So thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one.